Live from the Lumberyard in Pullman, this is the Cougar Basketball Hour. Tonight's show is presented by Crimson and Gray. Visit them at 1096 Southeast Bishop Boulevard in Pullman, or find them at every Cougar Basketball Hour this season. Crimson and Gray, proud supporter of Cougar Athletics.
Yolik dish, Tomas to the basket, left-handed runner, he's got it. Cougs red hot out of the gate.
Now, alongside Washington State men's basketball coach David Riley, here's the voice of the Cougs, Chris King.
Good evening and welcome into the Lumberyard in downtown Pullman. It is the Cougar Basketball Hour. It is so good to be here. We are talking with the head coach of the Cougs, David Riley. Excited to be joined as always by David Riley. We've got a couple of great representatives of the team here, Parker Gerrits and Simon Hildebrandt. We'll be stopping by as well. Plenty to talk about. We'll recap what has happened for the team since our last edition of the show, which was our very first show of the season last Monday. And still to come, of course, that game Thursday against Gonzaga at Beasley, 7 o'clock tip-off. Can't wait to see everyone at Beasley Coliseum. And on that note, for everyone in attendance here at the Lumberyard tonight, we've got a special giveaway. Stop by the Crimson and Gray table here at the Lumberyard to enter for your chance to win 4 tickets to the WSU Gonzaga men's basketball game coming up on Thursday night. We'll be giving away 3 sets of tickets in total, so don't miss your chance. Head over to the sign-up table here at the Lumberyard, put your name down, and you could be cheering on the Cougs in person. We'll have more on that game coming up with David Riley, but for now, it's good to see you. How are you doing?
Doing good. We had a good day today with some film, and thought we learned a lot and ready for the week.
Okay, so film, and we'll dive into that St. Mary's game. One other kind of programming scheduling note, the Cougs have the game Thursday against Gonzaga, and then everyone, it will be kind of life on the road in California. Game Sunday against San Francisco, staying out on the road to then play San Diego on Wednesday, which means, well, we're all going to be down in California. So because of that, next week there will be no show. There's 2 travel conflicts this year with the way the conference schedule works out, where we will not have a show. But next week and tomorrow as well, there'll be the Cougar Basketball Hour with Cammie Etheridge in the women's basketball edition. So that'll be both tomorrow and also next week as well. So we won't be here next week, but busy on the road with those 2 games in California. And that one game since our last show down in Moraga, despite the Cougs being down early and having a pretty sizable deficit, down by 18. Cougs pulling with 3 down the stretch, ultimately falling short by 6 points. How do you look back on that game Saturday against the Gales?
You know, we played a really good team, and they were ready for us. They had a good game plan going in, and I thought, you know, we played a little bit on our heels that first half, and I thought once we got the game in flow, really played a good game, and disappointing that we lost, but at the same time, I think there's a lot to learn from that great game, and we're right neck and neck with one of the best teams in the conference on the road to their place. We got a chance at this thing.
I was thinking about it more after the game and after we had our post-game conversation, but 82 points, and I know the Cougs have a lot of firepower, and that can happen, but even though it wasn't a win, to go down to St. Mary's, and they've had this incredible winning streak of 19 games going into that matchup, and to put out 82 on them, that's a team defensively that does not allow many points.
No, and Coach Bennett does a great job with those guys. Defensively, they have great game plans. They're one of the toughest, most physical teams in the conference. And I think our guys really bought into playing team ball about 4 or 5 games ago, and we're really moving the ball a lot better. We had a high percentage of assists. I don't know what our number was versus St. Mary's, but it was one of our higher numbers of the season. I think us kind of getting that flow offensively is going to help us down the stretch here.
And with that, you mentioned kind of the stretch, and we've seen the Cougs win 5 of the last 7 in this really kind of positive momentum that's been built. How do you look back on that? Do you feel like, hey, every game, even though it might not end up as a win in that stretch, and even though the majority of them have, it's continued to have that positive snowball effect?
Yeah, you know, I think we started kind of getting over the hump around the USC game, and that was a game that was a loss, but you could kind of see our guys defensively becoming a unit, offensively starting to zip the ball around a little bit more and finding the right reads. And ever since then, I think there's been some clear steps where we're getting more comfortable on both sides of the ball, and you know, this is just a tough bump in the road here with St. Mary's, but I think there's some clear lessons that we can learn, and they do a great job of, they don't beat themselves. They're gonna make you pay for every mistake, and I think that's a clear lesson we took from the game 2 days ago.
I remember you said after the victory against the University of Portland, it was the conference opener, looking at that final box score, and there were 4 Cougs in double figures, and you said that's WSU basketball. With that, maybe it hasn't exactly been 4 every single game, but it's been awfully close when it hasn't been. How is that, seeing that kind of further to be a trend and having all these different offensive weapons that opposing teams have to account for?
Yeah, that's the beauty of our offense is once the guys start making reads, there's a lot of guys that can become threats out there, and it doesn't pigeonhole guys to be a certain way. They can kind of be the best version of themselves, and it could be a different guy every night. I mean, we got 9 guys out there that are healthy that can all go for double figures, and they can defend multiple positions, and they're starting to get a little more comfortable with that.
You mentioned the ball zipping around. Jerome Morton with 9 assists. I mean, he's been playing really good basketball as of late, but when you look down and see that someone ended with 9 assists, that's a heck of a performance to get that high of a number.
Yeah, it caught us off guard. He had a couple down the stretch, and he did a great job of playing off too and finding the simple reads, and that's something where he's getting more comfortable playing downhill and getting paint touches for us. And I think our guys off the ball as well have done a good job of starting to space and find those bailout spots a little better.
I'm not trying to look too far into the future, but the 2 conference losses so far this year have been against Seattle U and St. Mary's. Well, the Red Hawks come to town on January 28th. St. Mary's will be at Beasley on February 21st. Is it fair to say the team will be chomping at the bit to have a rematch with both of those teams and to get them at home?
Absolutely. I mean, those are 2 games that we felt like slipped away, and it's a big opportunity for us to get that back. And when you look at like a conference race, there's a formula that I've always kind of been told and we've gone by is you got to win your home games and you got to split on the road. And right now, with us losing that St. Mary's game, we got to go find another win on the road here. But we're right where we want to be.
And the Cougs will have the home game against Gonzaga on Thursday, but then the next 2 on the road against San Francisco and San Diego. Again, still to come on tonight's show, we'll have Parker Gerrits and Simon Hildebrandt here. We'll have more with David Riley after this break, but we'll remind you as we're talking about the game against Gonzaga on Thursday and those remaining games still to come. Single game tickets to WSU men's and women's basketball are available right now at WSUCougars.com/ticks. Come experience all the action at Beasley Coliseum and cheer on the Cougs. Get your tickets today at WSUCougars.com/TIX. More from the Lumberyard in downtown Pullman after this. It is the Cougar Basketball Hour. You're listening right here on the Cougar Sports Network.
Your audio home for all things Cougar athletics is the Washington State Cougar Podcast Channel. Just search for Washington State Cougars on your favorite podcast platform to follow and subscribe to the official podcast home of the Cougs. Hear our original WSU Athletics podcast, plus replays from the Cougar Sports Network, including football pregame and postgame show coverage, full football game broadcast, and coaches shows. Find it all by searching for Washington State Cougars on your favorite podcast platform to start listening today.
Everybody knows you shouldn't retire until you're 65.
Buying a house? 20% down or nothing, bud.
It's easy. Put your money into savings and never touch it.
There's a lot of questionable money advice out there. For financial knowledge that can help you reach your version of success, come to Gisa Credit Union. We can walk you through everything you need to feel confident about your finances. There's a healthier approach to money. Find it at Gisa Credit Union. Gisa is an equal opportunity lender.
If we know anything about Cougs fans, it's that a win isn't all you're hungry for on game day. So Northern Quest has a full lineup of restaurants and lounges ready to face any appetite. Cheer on your Cougs with craft beer and cocktails in front of Epic's 10 by 30-foot screen. Grab a steak at Maslow's, a fine cigar at Legends of Fire, or tackle a burger at Fat Burger, before it tackles you. Full menus at northernquest.com. Go Cougs!
If you use natural gas, you recognize its blue flame. But natural gas is actually invisible and odorless. That's why Avista adds a rotten egg scent, in case there's ever a leak. If you smell natural gas at home, get outside fast. Don't flip switches or do anything to cause a spark. Go somewhere safe. Call 911. Then Avista. We'll take care of the problem and tell you when it's okay to return. Till then, it's a good excuse to visit the neighbors. Avista. We just want you to be safe.
Well, the Junior Cougs Kids Club, it is presented by Toyota. It is the official kids club of the Washington State Cougars, and it is the best way for the youngest members of Cougar Nation to show off their Cougar pride. Find out more information about your Junior Cougs membership perks at wsucougars.com/JRCougs. It is the Cougar Basketball Hour. We are live here in downtown Pullman at the Lumberyard. And one more reminder, we got a special giveaway here tonight. You stop at the Crimson and Gray table right here at the Lumberyard for our audience stopping by and being part of the Cougar Basketball Hour tonight, and you can enter for your chance to win 4 tickets to Thursday's Cougar game against Gonzaga. So there'll be 3 sets of tickets total being given away. So for everyone here, don't forget, get your name down for your chance to win and to be at that game on Thursday. And we are back here with the coach of the Cougs, David Riley. And, this is our second episode of the year, so something we didn't really have a chance to talk about last week was what the team did over the summer, but going on an international trip. And this team has guys from all over the globe. And neat, I would think, to build that chemistry, have that experience. What was it like to be able to do that as a team and to have that, I don't know, in some ways kind of as the kickoff to this 2025-2026 season?
It was an awesome trip for our guys, and I think everyone in the program had a great time exploring the world. And the cool part about it is we got this team from all over the world, and I don't know how many internationals we got, maybe 8 or something like that. But they're all coming over to the States, and they're out of their comfort zone, and it's a big deal. And so for everyone in the program to be out in England and in Spain for the first time, to kind of put everyone in that same environment and kind of seeing what that's like, I think it was really cool to see the guys adapt. And we had a great time. We got to see a lot of cool sights and play some good basketball too. But really just the time spent out there and exploring was made it valuable.
What was the best team building activity away from the court?
Man, we did a lot. And Pedro Garcia Rosado, he's here with his family. And most of the time you do these foreign tours, you got to hire a company, and it's just cookie cutter. You're going to this place, you're staying at this Marriott, and we didn't hire one of those companies. We had Pedro, and so we had he coached for a while in England. He's obviously from Spain, and so he knew all the connections. He's the one that set us up with the gyms and the games and the different tours we went on. And actually, when we were in Malaga, his family has a house up in the countryside, and they had their whole family up there with our team, and they were running around, and they had paella out there, and so that was definitely the coolest part of the trip.
Well, that is awesome to hear, and a big hand for Pedro and his family being here.
The family's right there. They're the ones that hosted us.
That is awesome to hear. And I'm just thinking about, you mentioned how many international players there are. This is probably an incomplete list, but kind of a rough list here. We've got Parker from Olympia. He's going to be on the show tonight. We've got Simon from Winnipeg, Manitoba. Lapway, in case why not. We've got Ace Glass from Southern California, Ireland, Ndioka for Iceland for Tomas Throsterson, then the Netherlands, 2 from Finland, Latvia with Reeve Vavers, another Washington native in Dominic Robinson, who's from Graham. That's really spanning the globe. How fun is it as a coach? I'm sure it's a challenge in some ways, but also a challenge that you embrace and you probably love to do, to bring all these guys together who have had different walks of life before they got to this point, and to have them have that chemistry and become a team.
It's always really fun to watch that kind of evolve, and with this many new faces, we had to speed that along. And a big thing that's just the common denominator is basketball. And we recruit gym rats. Like this is the big sell is you get to come up to Pullman and work on your game and do what you love. And so all these guys have that bond over basketball, and I think that's a really great thing to have, and that's something they have the rest of their life. Like when they go travel, when they're around the world, they can go play basketball, and they're going to meet people, and it's just it's a really cool thing that our guys have been able to do this year, is just to bond like that.
Speaking of guys from all over the globe, it was last week we had Reeve Vavers on the show. His dad, Morris, was here, and we found out that he drives to all the road games, or at least the vast majority of them when he comes and visits. So when the Cougs played St. Mary's on Saturday, Reeve Vavers' dad hopped in the car from Pullman and drove down to Moraga and back. Did you know that story beforehand, before Reeve told us about that last week?
Well, I know that he likes to drive. So last year he came out and we played, I don't know who we played, but we played someone in Pullman, and our next game was out in Iowa. And he made the drive all the way out there, and he's really kind of seen the whole country in his 2 years here.
That's incredible. He must have enjoyed it, because if you go to Iowa, going down to the Bay Area is probably a piece of cake. So he's making the most out of his trips out here to watch replay. As we said, we've got Parker Gerrits and Simon Hildebrandt coming up. What do you want Coug fans to know most about these two guys?
Man, these two just great Cougs. Obviously, Parker, has his whole family lineage here, and just everything that this thing's about. And those two have become really good friends. They asked them about a couple of their golf outings this summer. I think I have an idea of what that's about, and we will chat with them about that coming up. Coach, we'll let you loose, get some food here at the Lumberyard. We'll have you back a little later on when we preview Gonzaga. Go Cougs. Again, that is David Riley here at the Lumberyard in downtown Pullman. It is the Cougar Basketball Hour. Our site, the Lumberyard, Monday nights. Again, that scheduling reminder, we're here 7 Mondays. Next week, not one of them, because the team will be on the road in between those games against San Francisco and San Diego. Well, earn your bragging rights at Northern Quest with more slot machines, table games, restaurants, lounges, and luxury hotel rooms than anyone else in the region. Northern Quest, yes, the best. More at northernquest.com. And a strong NIL program is fueling a new era for Cougar athletics. WSU is creating opportunities that attract elite talent, keep our stars in Pullman, and unite Cougs everywhere. You can now support NIL through a tax-deductible donation to the Cougar Athletic Fund by joining the Cougar Collective's 1890 Club, or by partnering your business with a student athlete through Playfly Max. Together, we're building the foundation for long-term success in the new Pac-12. Go Cougs. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll have Simon Hildebrandt join us. That's all here on the Cougar Basketball Hour on the Cougar Sports Network.
For nearly 100 years, Adams Tractor has helped the Northwest knock out to-do list one tough job at a time. As your local Kubota dealer in Spokane and Lewiston, we're proud to back Washington State athletics with the same grit we bring to every yard, field, and job site. From mowing to digging to plowing, Kubota delivers, and so do we. Visit adamstractor.com. Adams Tractor, nearly a century strong, powered by Kubota, fueled by Coug pride.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End of friendship. Or choose chill, because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right. So we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
Hi, I'm Chef Franklin Becker. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. There's only one FDA-approved Ozempic made by Novo Nordisk. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5, 1, and 2 milligrams.
We are back here at the Lumberyard in downtown Pullman. It is the Cougar Basketball Hour, and we're excited to welcome in our first of 2 player guests tonight, Simon Hildebrandt. Let's give it up for Simon Hildebrandt here, first-year Coug from Winnipeg, Manitoba. We'll get into that coming up, but first off, how's life as a Coug?
It's awesome. I've never really had a chance to be a part of like a college town, and there's really nothing like Pullman and being a Coug and just seeing Cougs everywhere you go. Like, we've been around the U.S., around different countries, and there's always people saying, hey, go Cougs when you're wearing a shirt. Like, it's really cool to be a part of.
So you've picked it up right away. You know exactly what it's like to be a Coug. So being a long way from home a little bit, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it's not crazy long, but I'm assuming growing up in Winnipeg, you never, made your way here to Pullman before. How has Pullman treated you?
It's been great. Kind of like I said, like that college town. I remember one of the first couple weeks I was here, I was just out to dinner, and like we had like a week of practice, like no games yet, and somebody's like, hey, like you're the new basketball guy from Canada or something. Like people just know who you are wherever you go, and like it's so evident that the people in Pullman love the Cougs, and it's so cool to be a part of something like that.
I've asked Parker this question before, and we might get into that when he's on a little later on, but David Riley gave us the tease asking about a golf game that you had. What can you tell us about that story that David Riley sort of kind of opened the door on in the last segment?
Yeah, I mean, this summer Clay Thompson always came to Pullman to visit, and Parker and I got to golf with him. And Clay, if you're watching, I swear I'm not that bad. I was in a boot for most of the summer. I had a stress fracture in my foot. And playing with him, I was like 2 days removed from being in a boot, not walking for like 8 weeks. So it was a rough one for me. I swear I'm not actually that bad. So if you come back, we'll play again, and I'll prove to you that I'm better than you think.
What was your score? Did we don't mention
I think I stopped keeping track after like hole 6 or something.
That's fair. You're out there to have fun.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, you and Parker get that kind of one-on-one time essentially with not only a Coug legend, but someone who has done just incredible things in his professional career and what he's done in the NBA. What was that like talking to him and spending that time with him? Yeah,
like he was just such a down-to-earth guy. Like any video you see of Clay on Instagram or social media of him just like talking, being happy, being outgoing, it was the exact same with us. Like just super, down-to-earth, joking around, and it felt like we had known him for a while. Like there was no awkward tension or like, man, I don't know what to say to this guy. So it was really cool just seeing him come back and just seeing how much he loves the Palouse and loves Pullman. He was just raving about it, the whole time we were there. Like he had one of his friends there golfing with us too, and he's like, man, like every time I can come back to the Palouse, I remember this when I was here. And you can just see how much he loves being a Coug and how much it means to him.
Well, that's a lifetime story that you have. That is incredible what you and Parker got to experience.
Yeah.
Well, kind of what we're going to unpack here is how does a kid from Winnipeg, Manitoba end up playing for the Cougs? But we'll start kind of going specific into it. Growing up, were you always into basketball?
Yeah, like my parents made sure that I played every sport I could growing up, which I think was huge for my development. So yeah, everything like, growing up in Canada, I played a little bit of hockey, played some soccer, flag football, volleyball, everything for as long as I could until around like my junior year of high school, kind of around when COVID hit. I kind of had to specialize, if you will, in basketball.
For you, being in Winnipeg, are there guys that you looked up to that came out of your hometown or came out of your province that you were like, okay, I want to follow their path as a basketball player? Or in a lot of ways, were you kind of blazing your own path?
A little bit of both. Like, there's not a ton of college basketball players from Winnipeg who have played Division I. One guy two guys I can think of was Chad Posthumous, went to Moorhead State. He's quite a bit older than me, but he was kind of one of the first Winnipeggers to play Division I. He had a very successful career. The other is Emmanuel Acott, who I think he started at Boise State and then started Arizona and then went to Boise State for a little bit. He's a little bit closer in age to me, and I'm pretty close with him. Had a lot of great conversations with him about what is it like from Winnipeg, like going Division I, like not many people do it, and just sharing that dialogue with him was awesome.
And Division I wasn't your route originally. You were at the University of Manitoba. You put up eye-popping numbers there. For folks that aren't as familiar with college basketball in Canada, how would you describe what the start of your college experience was like playing at the University of Manitoba?
Yeah, like a big thing for me was my whole dream was to play Division I basketball. And COVID was tricky, it was like the beginning of the transfer portal. COVID, like people couldn't watch you play, and so I didn't have any Division I offers. So I was like, I'm going to go back home. We have a great coach at the University of Manitoba. I played with a lot of those guys growing up. I knew it'd be a place where I could be successful. And college in Canada it's a good level. Like you see it now more with the transfer portal. There's like the top 7-8 guys every year from Canadian universities are going to play Division I. But I would say it's like a high level D2, like maybe some low D1s, similar competition. And just going somewhere where I could be at home and put in a position where, the coaches put me in positions to be successful. And like you said, I had 2 really good years there. And then I kind of thought like, man, like this is my opportunity to kind of fulfill my dream of playing Division I. And I wasn't 100% sure if I wanted to go. I had a really good thing going at home. I kind of felt like, I was being pushed like this is it. Like we're going to be a good team when I went to High Point. I think I'm going to be used the right way that I want to be used. Good academic, like all this stuff I think kind of worked out.
And that is what happened next. So last year you were at High Point and you ended up going to the NCAA tournament. How was that first year of Division I basketball, and obviously a pretty good result when you got to be part of a team that went to the dance.
Yeah, like when I was deciding to move, I wasn't just going to move for the sake of going to Division I. I had a really good thing going at Manitoba. And, I was meeting with the coach, and, the way they were going to use me, kind of check the box, like they were going to be good. Like I've wanted to play March Madness since I was a kid. Like, growing up, I would always be sick from school in the middle of March, and you watch all the games from whatever 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. And so just, getting a chance to step on that floor was just surreal. It was like a lifelong dream come true.
So last year, the season ends. You're trying to figure out your path forward. How does that ultimately lead to you getting connected with the coaches at WSU and making your way here to Pullman?
Yeah, I loved it at High Point. I love North Carolina. I love my coach. My coach actually left to go to Creighton, his alma mater. And I talked with my associate head coach, good guy, and he just, he said, I think if you come back for your senior year, he was super honest with me. He had a couple guys that he recruited that were at a similar position to me, and he said, I think they would probably play over you. I'm not going to promise anything, but if you wanted to leave and hit the transfer portal, I wouldn't blame you. You got one more year. And so I kind of did that, and then when Coach Riley and that staff contacted me, and our introductory meetings, and then getting down to Pullman and seeing everything, I think it was the perfect fit. You look at what we do, we're a very versatile team, and there's a lot of power to the players and what we do on offense, a lot of freedom. I think it was a good fit for me.
Well, that's fantastic. It is great having you here. And I'm thinking back, it was the game at the Spokane Arena against Oregon State. Got to talk to your dad for a minute. Yeah. So was it him and anyone else from your family that got to spend some time around kind of the Christmas break area to come and visit?
Yeah, both my parents are here, both of them. They're both teachers back home in Winnipeg. So it kind of works out to get that Christmas break, that 2 weeks or 2.5 weeks, whatever it is. So it was perfect. They flew into Vancouver, Canada, drove down to Portland to catch that game, back up to Seattle for the Seattle U game, and then drove to Pullman to see us play LMU, and then back up to Spokane to play Oregon State, and they left right after that game to head back home. So they had to work on Monday. So
that worked out pretty well then.
Yeah, it worked out. They were able to catch 4 games, so it was perfect.
So I remember that game against Oregon State was on a Sunday, right?
Yep.
And they had to work the next day? Or?
I think they may have taken the Monday off and flew home and just had to miss one day at work. But
wow. What do mom and dad teach? What level and what do they teach?
My dad is a math and computer science teacher. And it's funny, he's a huge basketball fan. He's kind of like a big reason why I play. So I've never met anybody who has kind of that, combination, like math and computer science, but a huge basketball nerd in the same way. And my mom's like an elementary phys ed teacher.
Well, that's fantastic. And for you, how are things going in the classroom? What are you studying?
Good. So I was in business for 3 years before I came here, but that's the side of the transfer portal that people don't see. Being in 3 schools in 3 years makes it a little tricky. So I had to switch my major to social sciences. So that's what I'm going to graduate from WSU this year.
So when it comes to life after college basketball, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but probably want to play, if you can, professionally, and if you can, play as long as possible. And what are you thinking about when it comes to just life after college basketball?
Just trying to delay it as long as possible.
That's fair.
If I can keep playing basketball, it's my passion. If I can keep playing as long as I can, that's the dream. But at some point, I know the ball's going to stop bouncing for me. And hopefully we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Well, that's fair. You got plenty of time in crimson and gray in front of you. And we're talking about you being from Winnipeg. I got to figure out your sports team. So is it Jets, Blue Bombers, and then Blue Jays, and then maybe on the Raptors? What are your rooting passions?
Yeah, you're pretty much there. Being from Winnipeg, it's a hockey town. I kind of didn't follow as much growing up. I was way more a basketball fan, but the last couple of years I've gotten more into it, especially when they make the playoffs. It's super cool to see the whole city kind of come around the Jets. Same with the Bombers. I know a handful of the players. Just being a Winnipeg guy, they have a couple Winnipeg guys as well. and yeah, I got into baseball. I'm just a huge sports fan in general. So I got into following baseball this past year with the Blue Jays, and it was really cool. When we were in Hawaii, Dan Schulman is a ESPN analyst. He's the play-by-play guy or color guy for the Blue Jays. And so I got to talk to him for a little bit at the end and just introduce myself. And it was pretty cool to make that Canadian connection because he's a fellow Canadian, working in the U.S.
Yeah, no doubt it's a big deal, right? Him and Buck Martinez is the Blue Jays TV crew. They're kind of that's the broadcast team for the whole country.
So, getting to meet him was really cool and just talk some baseball for a couple minutes. And then, I watch a lot more college basketball than the NBA. Like I'll tune into the playoffs and the finals, of course. But, I do remember that Raptors run they had when they won the championship with Kawhi Leonard there. I wouldn't really call myself a big Raptors fan, but, maybe more of like a bandwagon fan. Like if they're in their playoffs or make it interesting, all of Canada kind of comes together when it comes to things like that.
Well, that makes sense, and it's fantastic to know that you will carry the Cougs flag moving forward. And I'm sure your mom and dad are wearing Coug gear around Winnipeg,
all
right?
All the time.
That's awesome. Simon, thanks for being here. It's great having you as a Coug, and keep it rolling. Best of luck moving forward.
Thank you.
Again, that's Simon Hildebrandt joining us here. It is the Cougar Basketball Hour. We're live at the Lumberyard in downtown Pullman. Our show tonight is brought to you in part by Coors Light, Mountain Cold Refreshment, Choose Chill, proud partner of Cougar Athletics. Celebrate responsibly. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll have our second player guest of the night, Parker Gerrits, joining us. And a little later on, we'll be rejoined by the head coach of the Cougs, David Riley, to preview Thursday's home game against Gonzaga. This is the Cougar Basketball Hour on the Cougar Sports Network.
This Washington State University sports broadcast is brought to you in part by Pullman Regional Hospital, the official hospital of Washington State Athletics. Rural communities face unique healthcare challenges. By providing hands-on opportunities for WSU students in health sciences, nursing, pharmacy, and the Elson Floyd College of Medicine, Pullman Regional Hospital is helping to shape the future of local healthcare. Learn more at pullmanregional.org. Pullman Regional Hospital and Washington State, partners in excellence.
Be a part of all the excitement at Beasley Coliseum this year. Come cheer on the Washington State Cougars men's and women's basketball teams as they host the likes of Gonzaga, St. Mary's, and Oregon State in conference play this season. Don't miss out on all the action. Grab your tickets to upcoming WSU basketball games today at WSUCougars.com/tix. Again, that's WSUCougars.com/TIX. See you at Beasley Coliseum. Go Cougs!
Dear Traction, Toyota has 25 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. The RAV4 has legendary versatility. The Grand Highlander's adult-sized third row is for real. And the Tacoma's wild side comes standard. From job sites to campsites and game nights, there's an all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive Toyota to get you there in style. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
For nearly 100 years, Adams Tractor has helped the Northwest knock out to-do list one tough job at a time. As your local Kubota dealer in Spokane and Lewiston, we're proud to back Washington State Athletics with the same grit we bring to every yard, field, and job site. From mowing to digging to plowing, Kubota delivers, and so do we. Visit adamstractor.com. Adams Tractor, nearly a century strong, powered by Kubota, fueled by Coug pride.
This is the Cougar Basketball Hour.
Makes the pass, left wing three, takes it, and makes it. Oh, and another big three is needed. It's Reeve Avers who delivers again.
Tonight's show is presented by Crimson and Gray. Visit them at 1096 Southeast Bishop Boulevard in Pullman, or find them at every Cougar Basketball Hour this season. Crimson and Gray, proud supporter of Cougar Athletics.
Pumas Rosterson, one-hand alley-oop lay-in.
Once again, back to the Lumberyard Food Hall in downtown Pullman. Here's the voice of the Cougs, Chris King.
It's the Cougar Basketball Hour. We are at the Lumberyard in downtown Pullman. Tonight's show rolls on. And our next guest, someone who needs no introduction and is much of a wily veteran as a redshirt sophomore can be. Parker Gerrits is here. Parker, great to see you. How are you doing tonight?
Good. How are you guys?
I'm fantastic. I was
Good.
joking with you when you were walking up. You probably co-host the show now. I mean, you're no stranger to having the headset on and to talking about the Cougs.
A little familiarity, yeah.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Well, so you're a redshirt sophomore, but you're now the longest tenured player in the program. How is it kind of being that guy in the locker room who's been around here at WSU longer than anyone else?
Well, I'm old, but I feel young. I mean, I'm young, but I feel old at the same time. So it's fun. It's fun to be able to show the guys around Pullman and the special parts about it that people don't get to see at other places. And getting to meet new people every year. I think basketball gives you a great opportunity to build relationships with people that'll take you for years and years to come. And so it's been been fun having a lot of new faces that come in each year and being able to create bonds, and that will go for however long they do.
I've had the chance to talk to you about this before, but we kind of heard Simon's side of the story and David Riley teasing it in his final segment up here to get the show started about that golf game with Klay Thompson. Was Simon's golf game as bad as he was making it out to be?
It wasn't his best that day.
Okay.
I'll give him that. But, yeah.
Who had the best score?
I did.
Did you really?
I shot a 42. Clay shot a 45.
Did you give him to sign the scorecard after?
No, that's my biggest regret of that day.
Okay, so I wasn't the only one thinking that.
My dad was pissed afterwards. It was bad.
You mentioned your dad, and we've had the chance to talk about this on the show before, but for those who weren't tuned in when you were here last year, maybe heard your story. Can you just give people an idea of how deep the Cougar ties are for you and your family?
Yeah, the Cougar ties go really far. I've had both parents met here. Not when they went to school, but they met at the Coug for a football game, coming to town. I've had aunts and uncles go here, cousins. I've had both my grandparents met here. Their first date was at the Coug, so I've been brainwashed from an early age.
Well, I don't know, brainwashed. I think you've been surrounded by a lot of smart people
100%,
that have set you up for life. Was there a story last year about Grandma in a way that she has being a Coug, she's represented?
Well, she told me before that to not give any more secrets out about her this year, but
okay.
Yeah, she does have she does have a Cougar logo tattooed on the calf. She's the only one to do it so far, so we'll see if I get there. I don't know.
That is awesome. And your jersey number, we've talked about this before, but the jersey number, what inspired the number that you wear?
Well, I've always worn 22 growing up for my dad because that's the number he wore playing basketball. And when I came to WSU my freshman year, it was taken. And so the wheels started turning a little bit, and I didn't know exactly what to do. And I've always liked wearing a number for somebody that, I don't know, that I kind of admire and play after a little bit. And so when I was going through the ones available, 10 popped up, and immediately Taylor Rochestie popped in my head. So I was like, yeah, I think that's a no-brainer. And I actually got to get in contact with Taylor after that because one of my dad's best buddies coached baseball here and was here when Taylor was here. And so we've gone back and forth. I haven't talked to him in a while. But, so Taylor Rochestie is the reason why I know we're number 10.
It's an excellent Coug to kind of be inspired by and to have that number in honor of. Okay, we'll have two segments with you here, so we'll get into kind of more on this season in the next segment, but kind of last question that we have for this segment. Just talk about the off-season. How was that off-season, kind of being the one to help bring guys in as far as, hey, showing them the ropes of Pullman and helping to speed up that process of bonding, even though there was this good chunk of returners that you were a part of, but a number of new guys that came in to be a part of the program.
100%. It was fun. I think the summer's always fun to be able to just get in the gym. I mean, Pullman's very empty during the summer. All the students aren't here, and the weather's perfect, and it gives you a lot of opportunity to bond on the floor as well as off the floor. I mean, you're putting your head down, you're working your butt off, and we're getting after it in the gym, like every day. And we're getting extra reps on the weekends that we have off. We're playing open gyms. We're driving up to Spokane to play at John Stockton's warehouse and stuff like that. So it's a blast. It's being able to just kind of, everyone says it sucks leaving home to go to Pullman for the summer and working out and stuff like that. But really, summers in Pullman are awesome. They're low-key. They're calm. They're beautiful, and it's a great time to be able to bond with guys and meet new people and have a blast. So it was a great offseason. And then also our trip to Europe. That was something that I'll never forget, and probably one of the coolest experiences I got to do playing basketball.
Not bad. I'm thinking about stuff that you have been able to experience as a Coug, going to the NCAA tournament, going to the international trip over to Europe, taking part in the Maui Invitational, getting to play golf with Klay Thompson. You're a redshirt sophomore. That's a pretty good list we just named off.
So hopefully we get to a Rose Bowl and then get to March Madness again. It'll be pretty good.
There we go. I like that. Has a good ring to it. All of it does. We'll take a break. We're here with Parker Gerrits, WSU redshirt sophomore guard. We'll have more with him when we come back, and then a little later on, we'll have David Riley rejoin us as we preview the Gonzaga game. You're listening to the Cougar Basketball Hour here on the Cougar Sports Network.
Hi, I'm Andre Gabriel.
I'm Dara Peters.
And I'm Tasia Sniffen. We're cheerleaders on the WSU Spirit Squad.
Meet Krista Gross, the realtor who supports students like us with NIL sponsorships and resources to help us succeed.
She's dedicated, relentless, and always puts her clients first, just like a true Coug.
With award-winning service and a passion for helping people, Krista is the ultimate coach for home buyers and sellers.
Support her because she supports us. You can find her online at KristaGross.com. That's Krista with a K, KristaGross.com.
Go Cougs! Look, I'm not going to tell you how to live your life, but if you're a WSU fan and you haven't switched your phone service to Cougs Mobile, you're passing up a slam dunk. Here's the deal. You get exclusive game day perks, and Cougs Mobile contributes to WSU athletics every time you pay your monthly bill. No contracts, no hidden fees, no reason to wait. Switch now to the only phone plan built for Coug fans and on the T-Mobile 5G network. Visit CougsMobile.com.
On game day, Pullman heads to the Lumberyard Food Hall. Enjoy burgers and drinks from Timber, island favorites from Island Grill, and bold Colombian flavors from Mi Rinconcito Colombiano. And when the sun goes down, dancing every Friday and Saturday night, 18 and older after 10 p.m. There's something for everyone at the Lumberyard Food Hall in downtown Pullman.
I checked Allstate first and saved hundreds on my car insurance. Really smart. Unfortunately, I didn't check if I took the gas hose out of my car's tank. Ooh, not smart. And I drove off while still attached to pump number 3.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. Potential savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
We are back here at the Lumberyard in downtown Pullman. It is the Cougar Basketball Hour. We're joined by Parker Gerrits, redshirt sophomore guard from the Cougar basketball team. And before we dive more in with Parker, we've got the winners to our ticket giveaway here tonight. So for those in the audience here at the Lumberyard, head over to the Crimson and Gray table and grab your tickets. If I call off your name here, our first winner, there's no last name, so Tammy, winner of one of the sets of tickets. And then Jennifer Mattoon. Jennifer, head over to the Crimson and Gray table. And Carol Hawthorne, our last winner as well. So Tammy, Jennifer Mattoon, and Carol Hawthorne, congrats. And we'll see you Thursday at Beasley for that game against Gonzaga. If you didn't win tickets here, you can still pick yours up. And we'd love to see everyone at Beasley. It is going to be a lot of folks there and can't wait. Cougs taking on Gonzaga. 7 o'clock tip-off. If you can't be there in person, myself and Craig Elo will have all the action on the Cougar Sports Network. Our pregame coverage always starts a half hour before tip-off, so we'll begin that at 6:30. If you can't listen on one of our Cougar Sports Network affiliates, you can also listen in at WSUCougars.com/audio or on the WSU Cougars Game Day app. Download the app, it's free. Listen to any of our Cougar Sports Network broadcasts for free on the WSU Cougars Game Day app. So back here with Parker Gerrits and talking about this year's team. So the squad has won 5 of the last 7. What do you feel like right now has put this team in a position to say, hey, over these last 7 games, probably playing the best basketball of the season to this point?
For sure. I think we're buying in. I think a lot of guys in our locker room really want to win, and we don't like to lose. And I think just continuing to show up every single day with the growth mindset and having that desire and that want to just be great is what's continuing to prevail us into what this little path we're taking right now, and hopefully continue to keep taking us throughout this year. And we're showing up, we're watching extra film, we're getting in the gym still when we're having late travel days like the next day, and we're taking care of our bodies, all that, doing all the extra stuff, and just continuing to show up, because when you do all that stuff, it takes care of itself, and just continuing to buy in as a unit. I mean, it's really easy when you go down through rabbit holes like that to point fingers and to think about yourself, but I think we have a very unselfish team who really cares about one another and cares about this program more than themselves, and so I think we're really just getting over that hump and just going to continue to thrive and go up, continue to make progress.
We did have an audience question that we should get to here for you, Parker. Did you know that you're Section 5's favorite player? The whole section goes crazy when you come in. Do you hear a little extra pop? Maybe you have to get your ears tuned into where Section 5 is. But are you tunnel vision when you come into the game and you're not really hearing anything?
I've never been, like, my whole life, I've never really heard anything. Like I'll even have people come up to me that are at the game that I know, that'll say, hey, did you hear these people say this? And I was like, no, I know. So when I'm in, I'm pretty, like, stone cold, just focus on what's in front of me and really just listen to the bench. That's about it. Other than that,
I would think that's what a sports psychologist would probably teach you to do. I think you're locked in. You're in the zone when you're out there.
Yeah.
Okay, Gonzaga, the opponent on Thursday. You know when it's a matchup with the Zags, you're going to be going up against a quality team. Yep. What has you most fired up about this matchup Thursday, the next time the team will be back out on the court to take on Gonzaga?
I mean, it's a great opportunity in front of us to play an amazing team, but also just show the conference and to show the country about what we're about. I think we're a really talented team that is ready to frickin' take a big jump and continue to take jumps, and that we're excited at whatever's thrown at us. Like, we're ready for the challenge. We've worked our butts off, and we've earned this opportunity, and that we're ready to attack it.
Before we let you go, give us the update. A redshirt sophomore, so how are things going in the classroom? What are you studying? And then whenever life after basketball happens, what are you thinking about doing someday?
It's good. School is great. I'm studying finance. It's my third year doing it, going strong. So I'm starting to figure out kind of what I want to do with it. I'm starting to lean towards more of the financial management, like advisory kind of side, and getting my feet in the water with that a little bit, kind of starting to pick out the pieces I like, pick out the pieces I don't like. And, I mean, I'd love to play basketball as long as I possibly can, and that's the goal, and wherever that may take me. But afterwards, I think I'm a home person. I've always been a home person. So being able to go back home to Olympia and pour my experiences with the basketball world back into the basketball community in Olympia, which is growing pretty strong, and being able to do something special in that way, especially because I've had so much poured into me from that place. Being able to do that, and then maybe diving into finance somewhere in Olympia, and settling down and being able to be an impact in the community in whatever way I can.
That's fantastic. It's always great to catch up with you. Thanks for being here today, and excited to see you and Simon and everyone else in action Thursday against Gonzaga, and then on that road trip as well. San Francisco, San Diego. It's a great time of year because we can just keep going down the list. There's a lot of fun challenges, but opportunities in front of the team.
Yep, a lot of good basketball coming ahead.
Well said. That is Parker Gerrits joining us here. It's the Cougar Basketball Hour in the Lumberyard in downtown Pullman. Reminder, Cougar Nation, each time you bring your Toyota vehicle to be serviced at a local and participating Toyota dealership, you can receive a premium Washington State giveaway item as a member of the Toyota Rewards Program. Stay tuned for more information on how to become a Rewards Program member. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll be rejoined by the head coach of the Cougs, David Riley, as we talk about that next matchup Thursday at Beasley Coliseum against Gonzaga. This is the Cougar Basketball Hour on the Cougar Sports Network.
When putting in a tree or fence post, we all hate it when our shovel hits a big rock. But there are worse things to come across, like a natural gas or electric line. Nowadays, buried utilities are everywhere, some just below the surface. That's why it's the law to call 811 before you dig, to have your lines marked ahead of time. It's free for Avista residential customers. So call 811 2 business days before you dig. You need time to pick out that perfect shrub anyway. Avista, we just want you to be safe.
Download the WSU Cougars mobile app today, which features the latest news. Plus, it's your way to stream all of our Cougar Sports Network radio broadcasts. Listen to Cougar football, volleyball, men's and women's basketball, baseball game broadcast, plus coaches shows, all for free with WSU Cougars Game Day app. Take our broadcast with you wherever you go. Available now by searching WSU Cougars Game Day in the Apple App Store or Google Play.
For nearly 100 years, Adams Tractor has helped the Northwest knock out to-do list one tough job at a time. As your local Kubota dealer in Spokane and Lewiston, we're proud to back Washington State athletics with the same grit we bring to every yard, field, and job site. From mowing to digging to plowing, Kubota delivers, and so do we. Visit AdamsTractor.com. Adams Tractor, nearly a century strong, powered by Kubota, fueled by Coug pride.
Cougs, to lead in the new Pac-12, we have to attack this together. Name, image, and likeness, NIL, is essential. It's how our programs recruit, retain, and elevate our student athletes who don the crimson and gray. And now, you can directly support WSU NIL through our Cougar Athletic Fund. A tax-deductible gift to our Sport Excellence Funds powers WSU's NIL efforts, all in one place. Visit WSUCougars.com and select NIL in the drop-down menu to learn more. Go Cougs!
We are back at the Lumberyard in downtown Pullman. It is the Cougar Basketball Hour. Back up on the stage with us here is the head coach of the Cougs, David Riley. Okay, our opponent preview. There are going to be a number of games between now and our next show, as we mentioned, because the Cougs will be on the road next week. We'll have no Cougar Basketball Hour next Monday, but there will be one the following Monday. But first things first, Gonzaga on Thursday. How is it going from St. Mary's on the road to playing Gonzaga at home in this next game with the Bulldogs?
Yeah, it's the beauty of this conference. It's going to be a different style of game, but another really, really quality opponent and super disciplined, well-coached team, and we've got our work cut out for us.
How is it, I mean, every year, you're playing Gonzaga, and that will be the case for the Cougs moving forward. You know that any team is going to have their work cut out for them going up against Gonzaga. Is it similar year in and year out, or every year it's just a whole different beast to try to wrap your arms around before you play the Bulldogs?
Well, they got a similar team to last year, and I think with Coach Few, you look at his teams the last 10 years or so, they've been playing at a really, really fast pace. They're going to get out in transition. They're going to go inside. They're going to post you up. They're going to be super physical. And so I think they have like a clear identity with some of the stuff they do offensively, and then same thing defensively with the way they get up. They'll put two on the ball with some of their ball screen stuff and try to disrupt you. And they do a great job with their scouting reports. They really mix things up defensively every game, and so I think they've got a really clear identity. They're the same this year as they've been in the past, and I think our guys just got to go play confident. I think that's kind of what we learned versus St. Mary's. That we had a good game plan. It wasn't anything that was that crazy. We just had to be ourselves, and once we settled into the game in the second half, that if we play confident and physical and with a purpose, should have won that game if we go do a few things a little better. And so that's got to be our mindset going into Gonzaga. Is we're playing a super talented team. They're just going to play a little faster, maybe get the ball inside a little bit more than St. Mary's did, and go attack that game and do it for 40 minutes this time instead of 20.
Can't wait. Beasley Coliseum, the site, 7 o'clock tip-off Thursday. Cougs taking on Gonzaga. We'll take another time out. When we come back, we'll talk about what's coming up after that, as we won't have a show next week. Cougs hitting the road after Gonzaga. We'll discuss that with David Riley after this break. It is the Cougar Basketball Hour on the Cougar Sports Network.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End of friendship. Or choose chill, because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
This winter, you don't need to know how to slalom, land a triple axel, or pull off a McTwist 1260, whatever that is, to get to the podium. The only physical feat required is getting off the couch for Northern Quest's $60,000 podium payout. Play daily with your Camus Rewards card to enter. Plus, earn 4 times entries every Tuesday, and you could take home $25,000 on January 29th with absolutely no cardio. The podium payout, only at Northern Quest.
Dear Traction, Toyota has 25 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive. The RAV4 has legendary versatility. The Grand Highlander's adult-sized third row is for real. And the Tacoma's wild side comes standard. From job sites to campsites and game nights, there's an all-wheel drive or 4-wheel drive Toyota to get you there in style. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
We are back at the Lumberyard in downtown Pullman. It is the Cougar Basketball Hour. Next to the head coach of the Cougs, David Riley. And coach, between now and the end of the show here tonight, we'll preview a little bit. So no show next week because the Cougs are on the road. But the game Thursday against Gonzaga, they're going to head back down to the Bay Area. It's going to be a matchup with the University of San Francisco on Sunday. And then kind of make your way further south, going from Northern California to Southern California to the University of San Diego on Wednesday. I know your focus is fully on Gonzaga, but this West Coast Conference schedule, it rolls on, and that will be a road trip where there'll be some opportunities and some maybe a little time to bond away from the court just because there's 2 games in between the days.
Yeah, you know, the little break in between the 2 games is nice, and it's funny. My wife, she's definitely coming on this trip. She picks her trips pretty wisely, but she's making the San Francisco San Diego trip, and it's gonna be a good time for us to get out and get on the road for 5 days and spend some time together and really take this next step as a team.
Well, the next question I have for you is to see if you've had a chance to meet your new colleague here at WSU, Kirby Moore. I know it's been a busy stretch for him. You can relate from when you were hired at WSU, what it's like in those first weeks and first months. But have you had a chance to connect with him and to get a chat with him?
Yeah, you know, we went up for film before our must have been our LMU game. And he was up in the grade up and got a chance to talk to him for a few minutes, and he's swimming right now. They had a bunch of recruits on campus. He was just trying to get everything organized, and it's really exciting to see the energy that he's brought in. And he was asking questions, and you know, we got a lot of family connections too. My uncle had his ops guy or chief of staff on staff, DVD. And you know, the 2 people that I know that know Coach Moore, my brother and Ian Colsty, who also works at the Ravens. They love Kirby. They think he's a great guy, and they're the 2 nerdiest football junkies that they're just football obsessed. And if they like him, that's probably a pretty good sign for Coug fans that this guy knows what he's doing.
Well, that is good to hear there. That's some high praise, and I hadn't made that connection before. There's chief of staff, but was at Oregon State and working for your uncle there. And I mean, you've got some football credibility when it comes to, you know, your family and knowing what it might take to, okay, if these people are saying good things about him, that's a pretty positive sign.
Yeah, no, I just heard amazing things about him, and it seems like he's got things off to a great start here too, recruiting-wise.
Well, we got just another minute here, and I know we've kind of talked about your background before, but surrounded by kind of a family of football coaches, are you the black sheep? I mean, was it ever any thought of football? When did you stop playing football, or is it always basketball for you?
It's always been hoops. I think I don't know, when I was in 8th grade, I came up to Spokane and spent some time with Glenn Williams and the Meade High School group, and just kind of fell in love with the game a little bit more up there, and that was my chance to maybe jump to football going into my freshman year, but stayed away and stuck with hoops.
Well, we're happy to have you here. We're happy to have Kirby Moore here. A lot of exciting things in the present and a lot of exciting things that both programs are building, and it's thrilled to have it. And Coach, we'll let you loose, and I'm just thinking Thursday Gonzaga, then we'll be on the road next week, and here we go. More great opportunities, and excited for it.
Right back to it. Go Cougs.
Again, that is David Riley joining us here. We are at the Lumberyard in downtown Pullman. A big thanks not only to David Riley, but to all of our guests tonight, Parker Gerrits and Simon Hildebrandt. A big thanks to the folks who make it all possible. If you're tuned in on the WSU Cougars YouTube page, that's Jared Pringruber who's making the video stream happen. And on the audio side, Jerry Kylo. Big thanks to them as always. And Zane Saggio, our producer, back in the Cougar Sports Network studios. I'm Chris King signing off here from the Lumberyard in downtown Pullman. You've been listening to the Cougar Basketball Hour on the Cougar Sports Network.